This is how you become charismatic. This is how you become an active listener. And this is how you become the kind of person that people trust you with sensitive information. Have you been in a situation where you've been dealing with people in your life that claim that you aren't listening? Maybe it's not that you're not listening, but you're not actively listening, okay? You hear them, but you're not listening. So for those of you guys who may be dating, or maybe you are in a relationship, or maybe you're even married, or maybe you just want to improve your work relationships, whatever situation you're in, you can gather a few of these tips to help you out in your everyday life, okay? So with that being said, first things first, undivided attention. I know it doesn't seem like your attention is elsewhere, but we are in a multitasking, multimedia kind of generation. So you scroll on your phone and you're on Instagram, and then you switch over to Facebook, and then you go on to YouTube, and then you go and then you're on your laptop and there's 1,000 tabs open, and you have all these things, all these pressures, all these worries that are in your own mind. And then you have people who are in the outside world, people who crave human interaction, people that need intimacy, and most people feel the most intimate when they are having conversation. It's hard to connect. Why? Because we don't have undivided attention. That means when your spouse is talking to you, when your boyfriend is talking to you, when your girlfriend is talking to you, when your best friend is talking to you, when you have a colleague at your job that's talking to you, you hush every single distraction. No phone, turn the music down. You need to be intentional, be present, be in the moment. Don't allow any other thing to distract you from what's happening. When that person is talking to you, they are the only person in the room that matters. This is how you become an active listener. So next point, don't interrupt. Do not interrupt them while they're talking to you, okay? And this goes for men, this goes for women, this goes for a romantic relationship, this goes for a non-romantic relationship. Whatever you do, try to restrain yourself from interrupting them. And I know you have good ideas, you have good thoughts, you have great conversational topics, you have great burning questions. I understand that. But at the same time though, to be an active listener, you have to restrain yourself in such a way that you allow that person to at least finish their thoughts. Wait for the gap in the conversation where they are open and they're ready to hear exactly what you have to say. You have to allow them to speak, allow them to release whatever thoughts are going on in their mind. This is how you become an active listener, because 9 times out of 10, whatever clever thing you have to say, whatever amazing thought that you have, whatever question that you may have, they may be answering it, or maybe they were trying to answer it. But because you want to butt in and you just want to hit them with the jabs of your conversation and your thoughts and your ideas and your questions, you're missing out on valuable information. So stop and actively listen by not interrupting them while they're trying to finish their thought. That's good, right? Listen to understand and not to reply. I know for those who are in relationships, this is hard, honey. I deal with the spirit of sarcasm, okay? It's heavy on my life, and I need y'all to pray for me concerning this, okay? Because it's very difficult for me not be sarcastic, okay? And to not come up with something clever, a little one-liner, a little comeback. It's hard for me not to clap back. Y'all pray for me, okay? Because I'm not perfect. So let your own thoughts pass, okay? This is not just talking about in an argumentative state, but just in general, okay? Listen to understand and not to reply. There's so many times when you're in a conversation, because this is what I love about the art of conversation. Art, and I really want to get into more of the art of how to carry a conversation, how to have a conversation with anybody. I'll do that in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. But listen to understand and not to reply. Because most of the time with conversation and as it's flowing, you just want the conversation to keep going, but you end up coming up with these different responses, and when your responses don't match up what the person is saying, because you're not even trying to really hear them out, you're really just trying to keep the conversation going. And I understand that, and it's healthy and it's normal and it's human. But what I'm saying is this: if you want to be an active listener, you want to get better at conversation, you want to be more charismatic, you want the person to leave saying, wow, like, they really heard me, they really understood me, and I really felt like I could just speak with them. It was like in a place where I could really share. If this is you, you need to learn how to be a more active listener, okay? So let your own thoughts pass. Tune in to what they're saying. Listen to clarify, not for a clever, sarcastic comeback. Don't try to come for the comeback. Just listen to what they are saying, okay? Repeat what they're saying. A great way to show that you are engaged in the conversation is to repeat what they say. So if they're talking about their trip to the grocery store, you'd be like, so what you mean to tell me is, you went to the store, you parked your car, you walked out, you looked over there and you saw that the avocados was buy one, get one free. Is that what you're telling me? And they'll be like, no, I was saying that I ran into so-and-so while I was buying the avocados. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to continue to repeat what they're saying back. So that way you're understanding what they're saying and you're engaged in the conversation. So if there is any place where maybe your attention waved, or maybe there was a moment where you weren't completely focused, you can actually ask them for clarity. Okay, next part. Show that you are listening. You need to actually physically show that you're listening. So whether that is nodding your head, scientists even prove that the more that you nod your head, like if you nod your head 3 times as somebody's talking, it encourages them to keep talking. So as they're talking to you, nod your head about 3 times. Let them know that I'm here, I'm listening, keep going, I'm hearing what you're saying. This may seem like it's kind of like, it may seem like this is kind of performative, like you're just acting, like it might kind of feel like it's fake to you. Make sure that you are showing them, giving them social cues that you're here. Another way is that you can give them really good eye contact, look them in the eyes. You don't have to look at their eyes the entire time because that could be a little bit creepy. But if you feel uncomfortable with looking somebody directly in the eyes, look at their eyebrows, look at their nose, look at their lips, but don't over sexualize it, men, okay? And women too. Some of y'all be looking a little too hard, okay? But look at another facial feature, and just let them know that I'm here, I'm active, I'm with you. Physically be there, like wrap your arms around them, like let them know, show them that you are listening. Also, also say things like, wow, oh my gosh, really? I didn't know that. Okay, keep going. I'm listening. Even saying things like, keep going, I'm listening, really makes the world of a difference, because sometimes as you're talking, you just want somebody to affirm, yes, I'm here. Okay, that's good. Next point. Shift the conversation off of yourself. Okay, shift the conversation off of yourself. So there can be sometimes when you're engaging in conversation and it feels like it's kind of like it's a dance, right? So you have one person that leads the conversation and it's another person that kind of follows. When you are trying to actively listen to a person, you have to surrender your right to be in control. You have to surrender your right to lead, okay? Allow this other person to lead the conversation. You may prompt them with questions, but allow them to do most of the talking, okay? So simple ways that you can shift the conversation away from yourself, right? If let's say you're on a date with somebody, or let's say that you're on a date with somebody, and they start to ask you, how was your day? Oh, my day was great, but I really want to hear about your day. Tell me about your day. How are you feeling? What's going on with you? Stuff like that. Just shift the conversation away from yourself in a way that it's like, this conversation is not just about me. Or even a simple like, how about you? Well, what do you think? Well, how does that make you feel? Like, just shift the conversation to where not everything is about you. Not every conversation are you rattling on and on and on, blah, 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 telling you about my life, okay? Because let me tell you something. This is another part. I did a whole video on the power of discretion. Check that out. I'll leave a link in it somewhere in this video. But another way that you can present yourself as a high value woman is that you're not just blabbing on and on about yourself, that a man should have to work to understand the deeper, more vulnerable things about you. So because of that, you dial it back. Don't give him everything in just one sitting. You don't tell him about where your birthmarks are, where your beauty marks are. You don't tell him about your trauma, your abuse, how you had 5 abortions. You don't tell them about the rape and molestation. Don't tell them all of your business all in one sitting. Now if you're being vulnerable, okay, Sure, share, be naked, be raw, be vulnerable, do all that stuff. But if you're just now dating this person, there's power in discretion. And the way that you can leverage this thing is if you become an active listener, that you hear, the different things about what turns them on, what turns them off. Like, you can kind of understand what their love language is. It's deep. I feel like it's very deep to try to be an active listener. Okay. So next point, I don't want to just ramble on and on because you're actively listening. I already know you're listening to me. You need to become a vault. Okay. You need to be lips are sealed. The way that you become an active listener is that you become a trusted listener. No one wants to speak to you if every time they speak to you, you rattle off all of their business, okay? Loose lips make a heck of a hard friend, okay? You need to be able to maintain a level of trust with that person, that they know when they are opening themselves up to you that it's not going to go anywhere, okay? That when they open their lives up to you, when they open their hearts up to you, when they share what's on their mind, when they give you the core of who they are, when they share something so deep, so intimate, so personal, they need to have such a trust with you that they know that it's not good. You're not going to share it with your mama, with your daddy, with your uncles, with your aunties, with your besties. You're not going to share all of your information, especially you married people. Okay, listen, you shouldn't be over here sharing your husband's inadequacies, his insecurities, his deficiencies. You should not be sharing that with nobody. A part of building that kind of lasting relationship and having an active listening ear is that they know when they share something with you, it's not going to be all over the streets, okay? That all of your girlfriends know what happens in your bed chambers. Not all of your best friends and all of your girlfriends and all of your family need to know about the arguments that you have, okay? Some things you need to keep to yourself. All right. So you need to build that trust by being a listening ear. All right. Part of being an active listener is being a safe place. Be a vault that they know that once it goes in, it's not going back out. Okay. Next part. And this is my last and final point. Okay. My last point. Close the conversation with "I understand." Okay. Close the conversation, affirming that person, letting them know, I understand where you're coming from. I hear you. I see you. I feel you. And I'm with you. Close this conversation by saying, what you said was so important to me. I'm not going to forget this. I understand where you are coming from. You taught me something I've never heard before. Even if you maybe have heard something similar to it, whatever. But if you want to be an active listener and you want to be the kind of person that this person trusts you with valuable information or sensitive information, girl, sir, ma'am, I'm telling you, close the conversation by saying, I understand you, I hear you, I feel you. You taught me something I never knew before. Wow, this is important. This changed my life. Thank you so much for just sharing with me. In the conversation, letting them know that you understood. In the conversation, letting them know that they were heard. And not only were they heard, but you listened. You were actively involved. You were not looking anywhere else. You weren't having your attention elsewhere, but your attention. You were completely in tune with what they were saying. Let them know the gravity of how much it affected them when you spoke with them, that it really touched you. Let them know that I'm here and I was in the moment. And this moment that we shared was special. I was with you the entire time. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful and I hope you guys kind of like this take. I mean, I know this wasn't as, I wasn't really preaching to you or anything like that. This wasn't really a ministry video, but I feel like a lot of ministries always point out the what. Like, I see that your marriage is falling apart. I see that your work relationships are awful. I see that you are not really a good friend. They always point out the what, but they never give the how. And so I want to give the how to the what, okay? And many of our relationships are failing only because we don't listen. we don't listen, and you need to learn how to be an active listener. So thank you so much for getting on this video to do the hard work. The fact that you looked up how to be an active listener lets me know that there's something in you that wants to change, and that's a beautiful thing. So I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that this video was helpful to you, and I hope that in your everyday life that you will learn how to be a better listener. But in the meantime, between time, girl, if you're not already, I need you to go ahead and subscribe. I need you to like this video, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on another video that I do. And also, remember to stay snatched and saved. Bye.